Now, it's no surprise to anyone that Undertale's music is incredibly iconic. Songs like Hopes and Dreams, Bone Trousel, and especially Megalovania have cemented themselves in internet culture for nearly a decade. Hell, I genuinely believe that if it wasn't for Undertale's soundtrack, it wouldn't have the popularity it has today. A room temperature take, I know. As you all probably know by now, I've been a big fan of Undertale for years, and I've always been a massive fan of the music. I blasted it when I played video games, I sometimes put it in my earbuds when I need to sleep, and I've even added a few Undertale songs to my driving playlist when I need to go to school. Yeah, the music's always been amazing to me. In fact, I've even made a video talking about my favorite Undertale song of all time. If you haven't seen that video already, go check it out. Now, although I think the entirety of the Undertale soundtrack is really good, there's only a few select songs that have really impacted me. Sure, Megalovania and Battle Against a True Hero and songs like that are really great, but all that I'm left with after listening to them is the thought of, yeah, that was a good song, and then move on. None of them really made me think. That wasn't until last month when I stumbled upon an Undertale song that hit me so incredibly hard due to what I was going through at the time, that it just kinda overwhelmed me with emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Undertale song that made me cry like a baby is Undertale OST number 071, Undertale, the song that caused me to cry for the first time in over a year. Now, if you don't know which Undertale song that is, it's the one that plays when you arrive at Asgore's house right before entering the Judgment Hall. Now, there's quite a few reasons for why this song impacted me so much, but let's start with some context about my personal life. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm 18 years old and a senior in high school, and I've been going to the same school for the entirety of my middle and high school career. I've met a ton of different people and formed friendships with many of them that have lasted years. I don't know how you all feel about school, but to me, because of the people I get to see every single day, I genuinely enjoy it. Classwork still sucked though, there's no change in that. I've been through a ton with my friends, I've done so many things that are both amazing and stupid. Now, ever since my senior year has started, all that I can hear from everyone around me is that it's all just coming to an end. After senior year, everyone's just gonna go their separate ways. And yeah, I kinda just dismissed that. I knew all of this couldn't last forever and we'd have to do something with our lives. College itself has never been too interesting to me, but I do know it's important to go. So in my mind, I just ignored the thought that it was all coming to an end, so when my friends talked about it, I just kinda shrugged it off. We all couldn't stay together forever, that just wouldn't be right for any of us. For a long time, I really didn't feel anything when people talked about the end. I just saw it as a natural step forward and that getting sad about it really wasn't gonna change anything. Although I told myself that I accepted it, I never really thought about the end for more than a minute or two. It just seemed kinda unnecessary and never really faced how I felt about it. It wasn't until last month when I was driving home from swim practice that it all changed. Due to how far away my house is from school, it was pitch black out while I was on the road, and because of that long distance, I made a music playlist to keep me both awake and entertained. Within that playlist, I added quite a few Undertale songs, as I said before, and as I continued to drive, you'll never guess what played. Now, as I listened to Undertale while I was driving, I began to think about what part in the game this song plays. And then I remembered. It was near the end of your adventure. You've either befriended or evaded everyone in your path and gone through so much to get where you are now. As you approach this large white house, the song slowly starts to swell in the background, and when you enter it and begin to explore, monsters appear before you. Every monster you've encountered on your journey, all the creatures you've met and interacted with, the kind ones, the weird ones, and everything in between. The story of the first human who fell into the underground and what they went through, ultimately leading to their death. It serves as a sad and tragic tale for why Asgore feels the way he does towards humans, along with showing off the monster population's hope for freedom. Now, of course, everyone knows about the mirror and how despite everything, it's still you. It's such an impactful line that I adore, and a YouTuber by the name of Schaeferilla's Productions made a really good video about it. But there's another small batch of lines that cause my emotions to just erupt. Throughout your journey in the underground, you meet a lot of interesting and compelling characters that you spend a lot of time with. Sans, Toriel, Undyne, Papyrus, and a lot more are all characters you grow to care about as you spend time with them. And as you travel, you learn to care more about the world around you, the monsters you encounter, the beautiful areas in the game, all of it. And when it's finally time to take the last few steps in your journey, despite knowing in your heart that you have to go home, a part of you doesn't want to. You've met so many good people you can call your friends, hell, maybe even your family, and now you have to throw all of it away in order to be free. And when you finally exit Asgore's house after listening to the monster's story and hearing about how they're all excited for freedom, they say to you, you should be smiling too. Aren't you excited? Aren't you happy? And as you reach the final path right before the Judgment Hall, you're stopped by a frogget. One of the first monsters you encounter in the underground, the very culmination of where you begin. It looks at you in the eyes and says, you're going to be free. After everything the human went through to get home, all the hardships they faced, all the dangers they went through just to finally reach their end goal, they're conflicted. Despite the need to go home, there was just so much for them to stay for. All these amazing people with their own lives and dreams, all these nice and genuine moments they've experienced. With so much they've done, should they really leave? As much as I wanted to dismiss it, inside I was devastated about having to say goodbye. I should be feeling something, but instead I bottled everything up and just ignored how I felt. But it was like the monsters were saying, you weren't the only one who was going to be free. Everyone was. Everyone was going to go off and be what they've always wanted to be, to do everything they wanted to do. Although you might never know what would come of the people you've befriended, and if you'd ever see them again, you know that everyone deserves to be free. And although it's sad to say goodbye and leave the people you care about, you should feel happy knowing that everyone has the freedom to go off and do what they want. I don't need to suppress any kind of emotion at the thought of saying goodbye. Now, I can say this without feeling any kind of embarrassment because I beg my friends to not watch my Undertale videos, but I genuinely can't think of any other people I'd rather be friends with than them. I've been through so much with all of them, and I love them like I would my family. The thought of all of us leaving to do our own thing tore me apart because I really don't want to be alone. But I know that it's all gonna be okay. I didn't have to steel my nerves and block off my emotions. It was okay if I wanted to cry knowing that it was all coming to an end because despite how sad it is to say goodbye, everyone's going off and doing what they want to do, and that's a happy thing. And cry I did. As Undertale played in the background, I cried and cried and cried some more, up until I finally reached my house 20 minutes later. Undertale, both the song and the game, helped me recognize the importance of letting go, of everyone being free and going off to live their lives. It showed me that despite knowing it's all over, it was okay to express how you feel about it. So thank you, Undertale, for helping me come to terms with my sadness and allowing me to take steps towards the next chapter of my life. I don't know if I'll still be making videos during my time in college, but I want to thank all of you for watching my channel. Looking at where I was 2 years ago and now is honestly incredible, and if any of my friends are actually watching this video, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching.